After, I know he saw the film because he told me he saw it in Washington, but what did he say to you about the film?
Well, he said that he was impressed with it, and he was glad that it was done. He made a comment to me about myself. He said that he appreciated the portrayal, and he said publicly that the only difference between us, he said, was that I made more money.
So he still kept his sense of humor, didn't he?
He did indeed.
How important, in your opinion, was the Brown versus Board of Education decision if we look at the whole civil rights movement of our century? How significant a decision was that?
Well, a landmark decision. It was, was of such significance that it was pivotal in terms of the direction of the country took subsequent to its having been made.
Yes, yes. Did the movie accurately portray Earl Warren's role? It appeared as if Warren took the whole thing under his wing and really pushed very hard. Did Justice Marshall say that was pretty much the way it happened?
Well, we did not speak about that aspect of it. In our lunch, we spoke about his personal experiences in the South.
Yes.
At school, and how many of his heroes were still alive and still about, and those who had passed on, he recalled them, and he articulated their contribution to his awareness and his becoming a politically aware and alert person.
Yes.
So that the question of Earl Warren was in passing, but not dealt with in depth.
Yes, yes, okay. Did he talk at all about Lyndon Johnson, who, of course...
He spoke of Johnson quite favorably. He remembered and appreciated the relationship he had with Johnson, though he thought Johnson was a hard fellow in terms of politics. He was a tough guy politically.
Yes.
He said, but he was also a man who understood what changing times would bring, and he acted accordingly.
I think Johnson displayed a lot of courage, and I'm sure you would agree, in appointing Marshall Solicitor General and then Supreme...
Well, as a matter of fact, Marshall expressed that his appreciation for that kind of courage as we spoke.
Yes. You don't see that in white Southerners a lot, even today.
No, you don't, but he was a particular kind of guy, over and above what he was in terms of his background politically and socially, culturally. He was a man who had a kind of vision about the country and what its future ought to be. Without that vision, he would not have acted the way he did.
That's right. That's right. And of course, Johnson's background was one of being a school teacher, and he commented, I spoke to Lady Bird this week about Justice Marshall, and she said, well, Lyndon was a school teacher, and he saw the way the Mexicans were treated, and he said if he ever got to a position of power, never dreaming he'd become president, he would do something about discrimination.
Yeah, and he did.
And he did.
As a matter of fact, to now, he is the most, has been the most effective president in terms of civil rights legislation.
Absolutely. Yes, yes. I listened to your speech at the AFI, and you thanked Stanley Kramer for being a maverick.
I did.
Would you say in some way Justice Marshall was kind of a maverick?
Unquestionably. Indeed he was. And because he was able to accomplish as much as he did before he became Chief Justice.
Yes.
It takes a maverick. it takes a maverick to have endured the years he did in the South, going into hostile circumstances in courtroom after courtroom, being a lawyer, being a representative of an organization such as the NAACP. There was never a town he went in which he was welcomed except for those the plaintiffs and the black community.
Yes.
So a young lawyer with his credentials could have found safe haven in any number of cities, doing any number of things, and making probably a hell of a lot more money than he did make.
Yes.
But he chose to do what he did, and that kind of a choice speaks of a man who runs against the conventional grain. And he always did run against the conventional grain. He would always be what he felt was the spearhead or the irritant that would cause exploration of an issue or a question. He felt that there were so many things that needed illumination just for the purpose of understanding the existence of them.
Yes.